Okay, we call to order the Chisholm City Council meeting, June 12th, 2024. Susan, would you please take roll call?
Counselor Halverson.
Present.
Counselor McLaraha.
Present.
Counselor Fox.
Here.
Counselor Halva.
Present.
Counselor Blackman.
Here.
Mayor Lamb.
Here. Okay, council, we will look for a motion to adopt the agenda. You all have a new packet up on top in white for some of the changes that we need to make. So under Vern, Stephanie's just gonna take over that. He couldn't be here tonight. No changes there, but Stephanie's just gonna take that up. Under Larry, item E, we are gonna post internally and externally for the lead buildings maintenance parks position. Under Bridget, number 2, the resolution 0624-48, we are updating that ask to $1 million. Under Stephanie, number 2, with the streets and alleys priority list, we needed a resolution for that to go for bids, so that is added on there for resolution 0624-51. And then we are removing number 5, BC3, for the quote for the public safety building. And we have 3 items that we're gonna add under, would be J under Councilor Vaki, the Juneteenth flags, request for donation for the golf scramble, and Blue Streak donation. So with those revisions, I would look for a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Pledge allegiance if you will.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we do have public participation tonight. Ms. Sellers, good evening. Would you please come up to the podium here and... Good evening and welcome.
Right here?
Yep, and we got the microphone right there so the folks at home can hear you.
I'd like to ask the permission of the city to do a community rock painting art project. It's been highly successful. We're doing it actually all over the country. You can look up on your phone when you have time. I think I put painted rock snake art project, and you'll see a bunch of towns come up. It's quite an event in a lot of these cities. They're making it almost like a little festival now. One thing I'd like to do different is to also do a fundraiser for the food shelf. As most of you know, it takes a lot of work to put on a fundraiser, so I thought of a real simple idea. And I've got the library on board, the ladies at the library, and also the food shelf is okay with this. If they go up to the library and donate $10 to the food shelf, they will paint a special pink sparkly rock. I made a couple tonight, but it was my first try, and I needed a little touch up there. But they can have their family's name on it, or do a memorial rock, or business is another one. The one problem that we might have run into, one of the ladies up here talked to maybe Mr. Lance, I don't know, about doing it around the Chisholm Lake. That's where I came up with snake around the lake. They said that they were worried about liability of people tripping on it. We could set it in the grass around it. There are towns that are doing it around lakes, and we haven't had any problems. We wanted it in a spot where everybody can watch the progress of it, and maybe participate once they see what's going on and watching the snake grow, and also the sparkly rocks. They can, if they can see it, want to donate to the food shelf. The side of the sign isn't done yet, but it would explain kind of about donating. And like I said, the ladies at the library have no problem keeping track of the money, so there won't be any money all over the place to take the thing. Food shelf is on board.
Excellent.
I thought it was a really creative idea.
Yes.
Absolutely
Brilliant.
is. Yeah, and thank you very much. You know, definitely something to keep other people engaged, and you know, another fun thing that Chisholm's doing. So
And then just one more thing, I
Yeah.
thought, we could also maybe get the nursing homes involved if it's approved. I could go up and do a day with them, rock painting, the daycares and, range center, too, get them involved.
well, thank you very much for you know, taking your time and doing this. Marty, I have a question for
Remember
you.
Frog Park?
Pardon?
Frog Park? It was at the end of Second Street by the Field of Dreams ball field.
No.
Right before it turns to go to the alley when you're on the
Mhm.
tour, there's those gigantic rocks in there. It was
Oh.
city property, and somebody went in there and painted them to look like frogs. They were really.
Yes.
Oh, cute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they were huge, like the size of a Volkswagen,
Also
but
too.
looked like a big frog.
I'd be willing to go down and weed whack if the rocks are in, you know, in the way of anybody mowing. I could just go down once a week and whack around them, so it wouldn't be any extra work for anybody.
Would-
Rest ahead from the snake.
So
Mr. Mayor, do
Whatever.
we need to approve something like this?
yes,
And I made a $10 donation.
I think it's great.
You could go.
Oh.
Chisholm City Council.
Ah.
Remember all over there.
Oh.
well, thank you very much, Robin. I know after when we do get to this in the agenda, and if there is anything that our city staff needs to follow up with you on, you know, as far as I'm sure we can take care of the weed whacking and, you know, any type of the work on city property. I'm sure we want to keep that in house, but no, I'm sure once we get to that, we'll.
We would just need some ideas for alternative places to do it if you don't like it around the.
Nobody talked to me, so that's news to me. So yeah, I fully support that. So, thank you. Any other questions for Robin?
Great idea, good job.
Was there any other public participation there, Marty?
No, on special list is on the bottom.
Oh, okay. All right, moving on to council reports. Councilor Oliva.
Good evening. I attended a PUC meeting, a garden meeting, Chisholm Beautification Association meeting, EDA meeting, worked at the Redhead Mountain Bike Trail Race last weekend, and I attended the Highway 73 Mill and Overlay Project meeting at the Senior Center yesterday. Or sorry, Tuesday.
Monday.
Monday, sorry. Monday.
That's all right.
Yeah, days off.
One of those days.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Mekaraha. Good evening.
No report.
Councilor Vaki. Good evening.
Good evening. Just a couple of updates. The Blue Streak Scrambles next Friday. We're still looking for a couple more teams, so if you want to golf next Friday at Wolf Ridge, it'll be a fun time. And then as far as the chamber goes, we had a chamber meeting this morning, and the raffle tickets for the summer speed raffle just came out today. So if you would like one of those 200 tickets, there's only 200 available. That will be held the second week of August at Snickers this year.
Oh, excellent.
So more to come on that, but the raffle tickets are available now. That's all I have.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Councilor Fountain. Good evening.
Good evening. I have no formal report today, so thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Halverson. Good evening.
Good evening. I attended a park board meeting, the special meeting for the Mill and Overlay project, and the other items that we have there. The Redhead Committee's been very busy planning and been doing a lot of site reconnaissance out at Redhead with our trail builder consultant Eric Carlson.
Excellent.
It's coming together pretty nicely.
Good.
It's good to hear.
You know, myself, I participated or was at an EDA meeting. Again, another exciting year as things are going to be progressing. We're going to have another one of our retreats in August to kind of formulate and go over again to keep, you know, fresh in our mind what our 5-year, 10-year plans should be, and hoping to have some excellent information coming soon, maybe the next 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, something like that. But there's definitely some things happening around the community, so that's great. Also, I attended the Mill and Overlay project. So something that did come out of that meeting is they are looking at doing another study for traffic and pedestrians further off in the fall. I believe September, October is what they're kind of hoping for. And then we also talked about possibly doing some kind of trial run when you get in that same kind of area, as far as maybe shutting down streetlights and throwing up 4 stop signs, just kind of seeing how things work and flow and how it flows with the rest of the intersections near and far to that area. And other than that, I have nothing else to report on. So unless there's any questions for me, we will move on along to our ambulance director, Tiffany.
Evening. Couple quick updates. We started with a lot of our summer activities. We did Safety Town. We had a lot of help this year, which I really appreciate for my staff. There was about 70 kids. We had both ambulances up there, and we were able to invite LifeLink this year. So had kids go on the bus, landed a helicopter, and the kids were all able to cycle through the helicopter. I know I went through Safety Town. We did not have a helicopter when I was there. So I thought that was super cool. We also had the bike race recently over up at Redhead, when amazingly I thought I was well overstaffed for the day. I quickly found out I was wrong when we had 3 911s drop up in 20 minutes. Again, I thought I was overstaffed that day, and both ambulances were out, and I had an extra medic in town that day, and they made the independent call to take our cardiac monitor and first respond while giving was coming. So all of the patients were tended to in a very timely manner. But it brought me to the thought, maybe a different way of looking at things, is when you see a service in your town or your town's service in a different town, that's a success, not necessarily a failure of these systems. Hibbing was in our town, tending to that patient in a timely manner. Hibbing's had some rigs down lately. We've been in their town quite a bit lately. We've been in Virginia lately because there was a house fire in a nearby community. And we ended up on an incident in Gilbert because that is their primary service area. So Chisholm ambulance covering Virginia, car accident in Gilbert. But the important thing is all of the incidents that happened were tended to and mitigated in a timely manner, regardless of what the ambulance or fire truck said. So, interesting way to get there, but that was just a little different lens, different way to look at things. It's a success of these systems, these mutual aid agreements, and these intercept agreements we have. When we see a service with a different name on it in your town or ours and somebody else's. So, it's been busy, it's been interesting, it's been going well. That's about all I have, unless you have any questions about that. No? Okay.
Appreciate that, Tiffany. Yeah, a patient does not care what's written on the outside of a rig when they are responding in an
That's right.
emergency.
Mhm.
So appreciate that site very much. Thank you.
Yes.
Chief, Police Chief, Building and Zoning, Mandy.
No report other than that we have on the agenda.
Okay. City Engineer, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Lance, members of the council.
Welcome home.
Thank you. I'm going north the next weekend to go fishing. Just real quickly, on your desk, yesterday we had another status meeting at 1 o'clock on the public safety building. It's went along extremely well. Starting to get all the parts put where they belong so they're not piled up in the bays or in the police department. But they were kind enough, between Tommy Brunette and Brendan, to put together a status report that's on your desk, and it's just there for your information. It's a little bit more detailed, but it really shows you how close we are to getting to being ready to have open house on July 2nd. So it's just information only. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, very exciting to get there July 2nd. That building on the inside is definitely taking shape.
I kind of would like to have an office in there if I could.
No. Public Works, Larry. Good evening.
Evening, Mayor and Council, thank you. Just some updates. We're transitioning from sweeping, will be done this week, into painting. So we'll try to have Lake Street done by the 4th of July. So that's kind of our goal. And most of the summer staff just started last Monday, so this is middle of our second week. So we just got all the grass cut one time. So now it'll go much quicker, but it rains every day, just like it's gonna rain tonight, and it rained last night, and it rained the night before. So we're all struggling with it. I know you're struggling with it at home, at your cabin, or the mosquitoes are hatching every day. It's just terrible. So, but we're getting there. Stay with us. We'll get there. We just got the grass cut the first time just the other day. So the pothole crew's been out. We have dead trees we're dealing with all around the lake. You know, we want to get those lake walk ones first that are a potential and immediate potential with a lot of people. I mean, they're all potential, but there's a lot more people around the lake walk. So we're working through things, and I just kind of want to let you know where we're at. So it's gonna be a busy summer. A lot of work to get done.
Thank you, Larry.
Good.
Larry. Parks, Trails, Bridget, good evening.
Good evening, council and mayor. Thank you. Couple updates. As of today, a survey has gone out public for the Redhead Mountain Bike Park master plan. This is just an extension of that intercept survey that originally went out. A lot of people didn't get to take that one because you had to be at the trailhead at the right time when the survey facilitators were there. And so now this is available online. It's already been pushed out on social media. It's on the Redhead website, so you can direct people to that. It's targeting our local residents across the range, and then business owners too. We want to hear from them. So there's a few added questions that is going to give us some good data on what everybody really wants to see at Redhead to inform the master plan. More at Redhead, again, Marty, I think, and who else mentioned that you did, Mayor, that we were at Redhead for the race that had 333 racers June 2nd, and that was more than the previous year. And the feedback from the race is that it was really well executed. So kudos to IROC volunteers and all of the volunteers that put that on. Brianna Sturl especially did an incredible job, and we want to recognize her. And then Redhead will have a table at the Youth Mental Health Night at MDC, so that's June 20th. That's a big day. Awesome event for the community to go out to MDC for lots of tables, some really cool bike things happening at that event. And City of Chisholm will be represented with 2 tables there, so please promote that, and everybody should get over to that free event. And that same day, earlier in the day, Kiwanis is doing their grand opening for the splash pad, so that's a great opportunity to get into some photos. I don't know if the big ribbon will be there, but it's possible. Grand opening of the splash pad earlier in the day on the 20th. And the Freewheelers Bike Shed is in place. So we have a new program coming to Redhead to get kids on bikes who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford to ride them. And already we did have a little trial run, soft opening, with 2 kiddos bringing their friends from the Rockbridge Mountain Bike team. It's the coaches there that are going to be the facilitators of the programming. And so a couple kids that don't have their own bike, they got to go with the team, friends that were on the team, and try out the 2 new bikes. So that is already starting very slowly. We have some work to do to get that really formalized and well oiled, but it's all coming together, and thanks to Larry for the work on getting that shed in place. There's really big hail.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's damaging hail.
Yeah. Well, good. I need a new truck. Mine is new. Or the buckets.
Wow. So folks at home, hunker down.
Crazy.
It's definitely Gulf-size hail.
Hey, just turn your camera and look out the window. This is probably a lot more exciting.
Oh. Well, at least we're in here. Sorry, Bridget, go on.
As you were saying.
Jed, do you want to shut that window? It's getting a little
So, I want to give a shout out to Katie Christensen for the work that she did on that incredible garden out front that I'm a little worried about right now. Yeah. Planting this year was fantastic. Wait till you see. In about a month from now, it's gonna look angelic. Katie had some really neat ideas about different plants, and City Hall is gonna be a little bit more epic than it has been in years past. You can quote me as saying that, because I'll take the heat on that one. I think these flowers look fantastic. And then, okay, I just have one more maybe. Last one. No, oh yeah, Summer Rec opens Monday, and we have 100 kids signed up so far, which is a little bit more than we've had past years at this time. So I anticipate we're gonna have maybe a little greater numbers, but the staff are incredible, and they're lifeguard training right now, and so we are gonna be prepared for all the kids to arrive Monday at 8 a.m.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Thank you. And I did get a chance to go up to the Redhead, and that was very well executed. So kudos to your staff and the volunteers up there. Yep. Katie, Library, good evening.
Squirrels.
Good evening, everyone. Quick update from the library. The summer reading program is underway. We are currently 2 weeks in and have 163 kids and teens signed up. So they're busy doing their reading and activities and winning prizes, and so far it's been great. A little bit later on in the month, on June 26th, we have a comic stunt juggler that is going to be at the library. So we're looking forward to that and anticipating a big crowd. Other than that, at the end of May, we had a big volunteer hosta planting day, and it went great. We had a huge turnout. I think we had approximately 80 people show up. Our new intern, Mackenzie, did some rock painting with the kiddos. Robin showed up with Oliver, and it was a great day. I think we planted over 50 hostas and had some more discussion on just like the vision of that space and getting community in the space and interacting and having conversations. And overall, it was a super fun day, and it's starting to look pretty good out there. We had some flowers in the ground and some hostas, and bringing some updates to the space.
Yeah.
So
It does look very nice.
Yeah, thank
Good
you.
job.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
City Attorney Colleen, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor, Council. I don't have a formal report tonight, but I'm happy to answer any questions you have. So, thanks.
Questions?
I got
Right.
one question, Mr. Mayor. Do you happen to know if any blight tickets have been issued and where we're at in that?
I don't know, but I can find out and we'll report back on the next meeting. Or
Perfect.
Or you want Brian to send an email around too, we can
Sure,
do that
that'd
if
be
that would
great.
be helpful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Was one topic we didn't cover when we had briefed this week. So.
Perfect.
All right, City Clerk, Treasurer, Administrator. Good evening, Steph.
Good evening. Just to piggyback on the public safety building, I was there today. The furniture was installed. I did the final walkthrough on the furniture. So that is all installed and ready to go. Final things have been ordered, appliances, TVs, that sort of thing were ordered today and will be delivered. Just wrapping up, the cleaners are all there, and we are ready for the July 2nd open house. It's looking great, yeah.
Excellent. Anything else? No questions for Steph? We'll move on to the consent agenda, which consists of a list of bills, communications, which are April 2nd, Chisholm Park Trails Rec Board meeting minutes, April 3rd, EDA meeting minutes, May 1st, EDA meeting minutes, May 1st, Police Commission meeting minutes, May 1st, Fire Department meeting minutes, minutes of previous City Council meetings, April 16th, the Local Board of Appeals and Equalization, April 24th, the Local Board of Appeals Equalization, May 14th, Working Session meeting minutes, May 22nd, Public Hearing meeting minutes, May 22nd, Regular meeting minutes, May 29th, Special meeting minutes, and payroll and overtime. I would look for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. No unfinished business. Moving on to new business. Ambulance Director Tiffany.
Hello again. First one, we're going to start with under emergency manager. Switch hands. First one is request to accept the funds from the Chisholm Community Foundation grant. $1,837.50. This is going towards the purchase of the trailer for the intended use as the side-by-side, also known as Rustic.
Perfect. All right, well, thank you to the CCF. Now we'll look for a motion to approve Resolution 0624-45.
Make that motion.
Thank you, April.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, not even having so many of them, would be the request to hire paramedic Patrick Fitzsimmons pending the rest of his paperwork.
All right, excellent. Hey, council, I'll look for a motion to approve that hire.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And for our 20th locker, a request to hire paramedic Elizabeth Smith.
It's nice to have these paramedics coming out, huh?
Yes,
You know?
and they are both working paramedics, one of them from Lifelink, the other from Virginia Fire, so.
No.
One of them lives in this service area, and the other one would like to get back to ground. We've noticed there's some things they don't do in the air that we do on the ground, and they don't want to lose those skills.
Excellent.
Very good mix of skills and knowledge.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, April.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations to Liz and Patrick.
And the last one here feels less important when you're up against those other two, but it won't feel that way soon. The request is for 3 recliners in addition to the day room of the new EMS area public safety building. These are specifically designed for EMS day rooms. Have a very nice picture that shows regular residential recliner sitting next to one of these with similar use. These are made they're a little hardier than your regular full recliner. Also, they have a zip out liner on the headrest there. You guys' copy's a little bit better. Those seams, they zip out, so you can replace those if they start getting horrible. And then with the Chisholm logo there, where you see the Maltese cross.
Council, if there's any further questions, I'd look for a motion to approve the request to purchase recliners for the day room.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Marty.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
I just have a question. Mr. Mayor.
Do we need to abstain from that?
What's that?
Do we need to abstain?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
Okay. So would these be for the people that work in the EMS department to like on their breaks or get to sleep or what do they what do you need recliners for?
Absolutely fair question.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does, what, you're just gonna sit in a recliner the whole time? Yeah, sometimes these people work 24, 48 hours at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, yeah, after 16 hours, you might sit down and watch a movie, and that is fair game. If you just ran 6 calls, you've swept, you've mopped, you've checked the rigs, you've done all the things. If you still have time, sit down.
So then you guys
and then
don't have a
if
bed
you're
or
working
anything?
over, we do have beds that have already been purchased from prior, so we don't need to purchase those. We do have 3 dorms. Personally, I'm aware of some people that prefer to sleep sitting up some, whether it be snoring or heartburn. They do prefer a recliner, or maybe all you get is a cat nap before your shift's over and you wanna go home, you don't wanna lay down, and all sorts of other opinions. Recliner. Working Christmas and you'd like to eat a meal in front of the TV, and you don't live in Chisholm.
Have you personally tried these ones?
I've tried this brand, yes. The brand that I've tried this brand, they didn't have the rocker. Theirs is the theater one, so it doesn't rock, but it does recline. And I don't know if it's 100%. I can show you So that's that brand in front of, residential, those are Lazy Boy recliners behind it. It's not cheap recliners. This brand is made to Winnipeg.
I think purchasing one and seeing if your staff likes it, you know, if they can actually sleep in it or be comfortable in it before purchasing 3 of them would be my personal
I would
opinion,
ask
you know.
where would the other staff sit? Are they supposed to sit on kitchen chairs next to the recliner?
Don't you have other, you said you have cots or beds or,
In the dorm rooms.
so you don't have any other types of chairs?
There is a wooden kitchen chair with no arms.
I would just like to point out too, if anyone has bought furniture in the past year and a half, $900 is not expensive for a
And these are
recliner.
shipping custom from New York.
That's what you really want. What about the chairs I guys got down there?
Those are hard wooden chairs. And the one thing is, when you're talking about a 72-hour shift or a 24-hour shift, you know, having something that's,
There's like a lot of
you know,
them?
So down there, we have hard wooden chairs and we have an old hand-me-down couch. I made the opinion it may be best to give staff the option not to sit on a couch next to each other, but have their own chair to sit in. There's 3 dorms, I went with 3 chairs.
Put one in each dorm?
No, in front of the TV in the day room, so they can,
So
they
these,
can,
no, I was gonna say, these were part of the initial plan for the building too. So this wasn't an addition, this was an original plan, but it was owner purchase. So there's certain items that we have owner purchase on, and this is one of them. Just so you, that it was part of the initial building.
I was like, we gotta take care of our needs first and then our wants, you know, like, so.
I would say this is in line with this. This is mental health and wellness, this is proof togetherness and cohesion. These people are living together. It is good to spend time together in a communal living space.
All right.
there's no other questions?
And then come see what I mean when it's
Yeah.
in.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
All those abstaining? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'm sorry, can you tell me,
You should
you all said at the same time?
3 of us abstained.
They
Do you want to do a roll call maybe, just for the
Yeah.
record, would be
Yeah.
my recommendation?
Sure.
Counselor Halverson,
Aye.
Counselor Nicola Rata,
Aye.
Counselor Fountain,
Nay.
Counselor Hellebuck,
Abstain.
Counselor Bartley,
Abstain.
and Mayor Lance.
Abstain.
2-1.
And nothing
Motion
against
carries.
you. Or your people.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, moving on. Stephanie, taking in for Vern.
We have a temporary liquor license, looking for a motion, requested for St. Basil's Serbian Orthodox Church, I'm sorry. Request for a temporary liquor license on 6/29/24 this.
No, I believe that's for a wedding, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Council, I'd look for a motion to approve the temporary liquor license.
Make a motion.
Thank you,
Support.
Jed. Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item that we have is the resolution requiring to approve a premise permit to allow the AMS of X Post 12 to conduct gambling at Tommy's Bar. This did go through the Gambling Commission and was approved by them. We need final approval from council.
Okay, Council, I'll look for a motion to approve Resolution 0624-46.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Travis.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mandy, good evening.
Mayor and council. Planning Commission met on June 3rd, and they heard a project exemption request from Susan Crone at 518 4th Avenue Southwest. Mrs. Crone did have a legal survey done. As you can see in the attached packet, you'll see a resolution and a certification to approve the legal survey to sell 25 feet of her lot to her neighbor. The planning commission did approve it unanimously.
Okay. Council, unless there's any questions, I'd look for a motion to approve Resolution 0624-47.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, April.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mandy. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. If you return to page 42, 43 of your packet, I'll just give you a quick summary, and I'll let you review this on your own, but primarily we have status meeting on Tuesday, and despite the weather that we have had, the mainline sanitary sewer, the mainline water main, and the services, both the sanitary sewer and the water service, have been extended through the right-of-way line from 2nd Avenue West over to Central Avenue. What's left on those services is actually replacement of the water lines, the lead service lines, and any sanitary sewer services on private property. So if you look at pages 42, 43, as you go over to about the fourth, fifth column, you'll see the quantity. This is work that's been done in the last month, despite the rain. And with the next column over, the amount this period, with that extension of the unit price for that quantity. And then the last two columns give you the total completed to date since the project started. Such that as you get to page 43 near the bottom, you'll see the dollar amount of work completed this past month in May was $302,657.41. And in that last column, then the total amount of construction work completed is the $418,522.77. And then if you'll just switch over to page 45, when we get back to the first page of the pay application, you'll see there's an item in there for payment for quantity of materials on hand that have not yet been installed. And as you go across, you'll see what the original amount was of 190, there was in May, the material on hand that was there the previous month, 191,000 of that got transformed from being materials on hand to being its construction item. Such as you'll see the amount remaining of materials on hand is at $166,226.03, material that'll be installed in the coming months. So then if you would please turn back to page 41, and along that right-hand side, near the top half, you see the original contract amount of $2,266,700. That work completed, as we reviewed just a few minutes ago. The total work completed was in that last column on page 43 of $418,522.77. The next item, that stored materials that we just reviewed of materials on site not yet installed, is $166,226.03, bringing that subtotal to $584,748.80. We retain 5% on our contracts. As you see, that amounts to $29,237.44. Previous payments prior to this month on pay applications number 1 and 2 total $417,092.53. So the amount due for this pay application number 3 is $138,418.83. So with that, I would be happy to answer any questions you might have. I would recommend its approval.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. And yeah, those crews have definitely been moving along quite nicely.
They've been a good contractor, despite, well, I've been impressed by just the amount of preparation despite of the rain, that they're getting the drain, they've got, you know, the inlets such that they can take water, getting property both within the street and within the boulevard areas, shaped such that it drains and get off the street. Now, I just have to ask you to start praying that we have some dry weather and hail.
As long as that hail doesn't melt too fast, it'll be all right, huh? All right, council, I would look for a motion to approve pay application number 3 in the amount of $138,418.83.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Next, we'll go to pages 47 and 48, but on your table in front of you, we took a better copy. You can't really read very well, especially when it comes out to work completed to date. They printed in light blue when we receive it. It doesn't reproduce very well, and I wasn't here to give you that normal summary. So I think in front of you, you should have another page 47 and 48, on which, on that back page, which is the page 48, I have actually done what I've done in the past to total up those columns such that in column G, which is the work completed to date, again, if you total up all those items down through item 19, which are the labor and material totals, you'll see that that total is $672,556.55. We take 1.75% is the fee that is earned by E&P, which amounts to that $11,769.74, which is a number that was underneath there that you could not read. And then if you go over to the total work completed today, in the first column under column I, the total work completed to date, if you add up all those numbers that I show in brackets, as I show at the bottom of that column, that amounts to $8,287,809.04 times the 5% will result in that retainage of $414,390.45. And then please, if you would go back to the previous page, cover page. Again, then you see the original contract amount of $11,199,947. There have been no change orders to change that contract price. As we just reviewed, the total work completed to date is at $10,086,528.81. That represents 90% of that construction contract. So I'm hopeful that we may come in under budget. We'll see. There's still some work to be done. But then, item 5 there, the retainage is at 5%, amounting to $414,390.45, which when you subtract that from the total work completed, means that what they can be paid total is $9,672,138.46. The previous 14 pay applications that they've been paid for amount to $9,016,289.90. Such as results in that current payment for work completed in May of $655,848.46. With that, I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have. I would recommend the approval of pay application number 15 for the public safety building.
Thank you, Jim. Unless there's any further questions, I would look for a motion and support for pay application number 15 in the amount of $655,848.46.
Make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, April.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion?
Jim, just pass along to AP what a phenomenal job they've done. Truly. I mean, in all aspects. I mean, everyone up here knows I'm a stickler for change orders, but to have none, not even any, I mean, it's been phenomenal. And, you know, people will see on the second just how phenomenal it's been.
I would totally agree. I think we made an excellent selection, and I think they've done an excellent job of representing the interests of the city and dealing with the contractors and the whole coordination of the work that's going on, and the knowledge that they have to deal with those issues as they come up to keep the project moving right along, and actually probably within the original time frame, despite that we have about a month and a half delay, about a year
Yes. And actually, last week,
They have recliners.
looks like Hibbing has,
That's a real threat, man, that's a real.
There's a perk.
Around me, that was dangerous, I'll put it that way.
all right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Larry, good evening.
Thanks again, Mayor. We're ready to post for the lead buildings, parks, maintenance person. And if you so agree, we would like to post internally and externally. I've kind of surveyed the current staff, and you know, they always have an opportunity to sign until that 10th day at 4 o'clock or whatever that day is in the contract. But you know, everyone knows the need, and I asked everybody, you know, that was qualified, you know, do you think you'd be interested in the position? And everyone's pretty happy where they are, which is good because we're doing a good job, you know, getting people where they're at and where they want to be, and they're happy, and so that's good too. So, but we believe we'll probably end up going off the street to fill the position, and but you know, per the contract, we would like to go internally and externally at the same time. So,
Good.
sure, you get somebody here sooner than later.
Larry, I got a question for you.
Sure.
So, I know you said that we approved this in 2021, right? Do we ever even fill it at one point?
Yeah, we do.
Or was it up just like a part-time?
Nico's job. This is Nico's job.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so there was, well, when Larry Permanzi retired, then we rewrote, you know, Larry was a long-standing employee with an old job
Yes.
script. We rewrote it to make it look better. They could match it more with the city of Chisholm at the time. And then we had that internal move. Bruce Ernstrom was there for a little while. Then he went to the cemetery. Then Nico was in the street department, but then he moved there right away internally. And, you know, frankly, it's a lead position. It's the highest paid job we have in the ASPE union. So it's rare to get that posted off the street, but when you have employees that are happy in their current position, that's nice too. So, yeah. So
Thank
I
you.
believe it'll go first time off the street.
So we'll do it internally for 10 days, like you said,
Yeah,
and then.
so we'll run at the same time, so it doesn't, you know, because your next meeting is until July 11th or something, or 13th. So it'll run to 10 days internally, coincide with still running ads in the paper.
Okay.
And looking for those external applicants. And then if that internal process brings none, which I would expect, then it's just, then we've already got to jump on the external.
Okay.
And then in July, we'll bring to you like nominate a hiring committee, and we'll start reviewing applicants shortly after, so. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Larry. All right, I'll look for a motion to approve to post internally and externally for the lead building / maintenance parks position.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Larry.
Thanks, Larry.
Bridget, good evening.
Mary Council again. On page 55 and beyond is a contract. I'm asking for approval to enter into contract with Fine Line Trails LLC. The RFP process brought to us 3 proposals, and the Redhead Committee worked through those 3 proposals to select 2 of them. We're only ready at this point to enter into contract with Fine Line. They only have a few trails that they'll work on in the project. And it's an estimated total of $85,000. All of this funding for these trails are through the LCCMR, and so it's not coming out of city budget. It's the grant that we received for the phase 2, and Fine Line was a really great option. It's a small crew, 2 guys out of Michigan, and they were super enthusiastic about work at Redhead. One of them had been here previous working on phase 1, the initial build out, and I think they bring a lot to the table, and it's nice to have more than one trail builder so the trails look different, so riders have unique experience on all the trails.
Thank you, Bridget. Hey, Council, I'd look for a motion to approve contract with Fine Line Trails LLC for the Redhead Mountain Bike Park trail construction.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Travis.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Page 80, is a resolution, to request authorization to make application to IRRR for, improvements, kind of to, in looking at the plan that has been put in place through LCCMR at the trailhead, and the trails, were falling a little short. We'd like to go back to IRRR and ask for $1 million to help complete the projects that are there.
And this resolution is in that additional packet Susan provided, because there was a change on it. So it should be on your desk. Yep.
Okay, council, so I would look for a motion to approve resolution 0624-48 and the request to, NAS to request $1 million from the IRRR for trail grant program improvements.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Travis.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Bridget.
Good job, Bridget.
Katie, good evening.
Hello. So the library received a very generous donation from United Way of Northeast Minnesota in the amount of $2,000 to be used towards the summer reading program and some new books. And so I would like to adopt resolution number 0624-49 to be earmarked for the library.
Thank you, Katie.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, April.
I'll second.
Thank you, Marty. Any
Good
further
job.
discussion?
Thank you.
Thank you to United Way. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Stephanie.
Good evening. The first thing I have on the agenda is the contract IT agreement. What this is I've been working for quite a while on partnering with IRRR to have Marcus Wolf that would help us with IT-related issues within the city. So, as you know, we don't employ currently somebody in that IT role, and they talk a different language than I do. So it's nice to have somebody with that expertise. So basically, we would just be contracting them as a contract employee, and he would be able to help us out with some of our IT needs, especially like with our current services and getting things with the new buildings, just being able to help coordinate between BC3 and CTC, and making sure that we're getting the needs met that we need, and we're not being sold things that we don't need. So the current contract that it's kind of a pilot program to see how this works out. The current one that we're looking at signing would be for 40 hours, starting June 1st through September 30th, and then kind of see how it works out. I have had many conversations with Marcus. He's pretty familiar with what we have going on within the city. And if you approve today, I am planning on meeting with him in the morning. So I'm looking for approval on this.
Excellent. Okay, council, if there's any questions, I would look for a motion to approve the contract IT agreement.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Marty.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item, Jim and Ellie, I don't know if you wanted to come up, or it's the street and alley priority list with the resolution that's in the packet that Susan has provided on your desk, approving the plans and specs and ordering advertisement. I don't know if either one of you have anything to share, to add. This is the list that we had looked at on a working session. We did delete the ones that we had discussed deleting in that packet, and then we did add the Iron Man. I did speak with Matt Reed on that. His recommendation is that we keep with the mill and overlay on the parking lot instead of, I know we were discussing just doing an overlay, but he said the condition of the parking lot, it makes the most sense, and the milling part was about $18,000. So the cost of what the mill was versus the overlay, his recommendation is that we do keep both of those within the bid. So that is still included in that bid. Any specific questions on this project?
I have one.
Yep.
that Ironman parking lot does have that drainage problem with the water pools at the entrance. Somehow they're gonna have to get that corrected.
Sure.
Yeah, we looked at that, Marty. Some of it's kind of the, towards the, I guess, north end, but it's straight towards, the frontage over there. And, some of the boulevards that built up from sand and so forth. So we're gonna have to do some grading out there to get that, because the parking lot does pretty much drain from south to north. And there's no curb.
It's on the right side as you drive in. It looks like just the buildup of the sod over the years.
Yeah, we've got to cut some drainage swales through there and get, at least get some swales so we can still mold.
Yep.
But, get it to drain. It's actually on both sides of the driveway, there's a little bit of that problem, so.
And then just to follow up on the timeline too, the bid would be advertised June 14th, 21st, and 28th. The bid opening would be July 2nd, so that'll be a busy day for the city, at 10 a.m. And then we would be ready, if council would like to approve and award that bid, we'd be ready in the July meeting to do that. July 10th would be, so that's the timeline on this.
Okay. All right, council, unless there's any other questions, I would look for a motion to approve resolution number 0624-51.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Question. So I drove all these streets and alleys today, and I can't get on board with the Ironman. There's far too many streets in this town that are really bad, and it beats people's vehicles up pretty bad. That money should go to other streets, in my opinion. That Ironman parking lot is just used for a park and ride. There's no businesses there. I mean, I know it's kind of in the entrance of our city, but we have other streets that gotta get fixed first, in my opinion.
Mr. Mayor, I believe there's issues with the helicopter landing there and throwing rocks and gravel around. I think that was one of the primary concerns, is the safety of people on the ground when the helicopter comes. There's so much loose rock and gravel and pavement to
That's my
it's
understanding.
kicking up material, EMTs, lifelink people.
Ellie is here from SEH as well, but if I'm not mistaken, we'll be bidding that like we have in the past, where each of those projects that you see in the plans, and I've got the 11 by 17 plans in my office, I'll put them in Mandy's office as well. But I think each one of those segments is going to be bid as a separate bid schedule.
Not in this case. They are all one base bid.
Could we have the Ironman just broken out as a separate bid schedule?
Yes, we can do that.
So then, when we bring it back, we can make that decision. Because at that point, once we have the prices, we also know about what that assessment revenue is, and you can fit it into your budget.
Yep.
If that would work for you.
Yeah, because depending on when the bids come back at, there is, like we discussed when we were looking at that project, we may end up overbid with adding that to it too. So if we can have it as a separate bid, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll leave that in the
Thanks, Jeff.
Right, so do a revision for, do you have a motion on that one?
No, not yet.
All right, so I look for a motion to approve resolution number 0624-51 and make the Ironman in alternate.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Travis.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Next item we have on the agenda is, there's the purchase the parcel 020-0010-09640. There is a map on your desk which outlines where this parcel is. As you know, this is 5th Street that we have the current construction on. The parcel right to the east of this is the school-owned that we are acquiring in the land swap. Jim and I have had many discussions with Bob Streeter on the infill lot for the city of Chisholm as far as new houses being built. This particular owner did come to us. This is a vacant lot. Came to us to see if we are interested in purchasing that lot. And we think that, considering the location, that it's right adjacent to the school lot that we had already we're going to look at for new housing development for an infill program. We could also include this lot to that too. So that's what we would be looking to do, is purchase this lot from the resident. he said he had purchased it quite a few years back in intention of building on it, but as time has gone on, he is not interested in building on that lot anymore. So what we could have is probably anywhere from 3 to 4 lots put in that,
So I have 183 feet of frontage within 50 feet.
within that space there. And then Jim and I will make a decision on what those lots could look like, and then with this project that we're currently doing, we can get water and sewer ran to those lots. So the timing is right, and I think it would make sense to move forward on this purchase. When I spoke to Mr. Horde, his request was to be paid taxable value on the property, which is $6,200. So we can either accept that, not accept it, or counter.
Well, I think the timing is right, and I would believe that the price is right. It kind of falls in line with the different parcels that we do purchase, and match the estimated market value of that. So I would look for a motion to approve resolution 0624-5. Ooh, wrong one. I'm sorry. I would look for a motion to approve the purchase of parcels 020-0010-0980.
I make a motion.
$6,200. Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion?
Just a
All-
quick question.
Yeah.
Is this coming out of the EDA funds?
It can, yes. It can either come out of the EDA or it can come out of contingency for the city. What we would do is we would sell those properties, so we would get that money back. Yeah, after we divide it out, then we would sell that property. So it'd basically just be just timing on the payout and then bringing the money back in.
Thank you.
Yep. So it doesn't really matter where it comes from.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item on the agenda, I'm very happy to say, this is Resolution 0624-50 to appoint Devin Segler as our city clerk treasurer. Devin will come to us with a lot of years' experience as a certified public accountant, and he works with cities on their finances. So he, start date would be August 19th. He is going to potentially try to come in a couple days prior to that. I spoke with Brian and we could just do an hourly rate for him during that time. And then once he starts on August 19th, he'll be under the MAPE contract with the city clerk treasurer wages and all of the benefits that go along with them. Thank you to the committee that worked on this. These are big positions and always time consuming, and thank you for helping with that. I think he's gonna be a good asset to the city and a good addition to the team.
Yeah, Stephanie, good job too. Thank you for coordinating all that, and I do believe he's gonna fit in quite nicely up there. So, the council, I'd look for a motion to approve resolution 0624-50 and appoint Devin Segler to the city clerk treasurer position.
Can I add one more thing?
Yes.
As always, pending background and drug and alcohol screening.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Marty.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Devin.
Next item we have on the agenda is the school land swap. We've approved this once. The school did request a change on this, so on page 118 of your packet in red would be what the change is. What their concern was they wanted to make sure that even if the schools were consolidated or something happened down the road, that the Chisholm students would still be able to utilize these facilities at their current use. What we agreed upon was the language change of, or the parcel is not being utilized as current designated use. So as long as it's still being utilized by students for football, track, recreation, it would stay with be owned by the city of Chisholm or ISD 695. So if the schools are consolidated and a new school district was created, the city would own those facilities, but they would still be utilized for the students. That was what they are requesting. Also, the Chisholm Community Foundation Park would continue as current designated use. They want to make sure that also stays as a park. If none of us are here and change that, because I told them we aren't changing it, but you may not be here.
Right, absolutely. Right, well, thank you, Stephanie, and thank you for working with them. And,
What is it?
yeah.
Where's this?
Police park.
Police
So unless there's no further questions, I'd look for a motion to approve the land swap agreement.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I'll abstain.
Now, hopefully we don't see it again.
I believe it's on the school board agenda at their next meeting, or I could worsen it up. So, the next item I have on the agenda is, as Bridget had spoken about, we're moving forward with the LCCMR grant with Redhead. Lots of planning going into that. During the process, we're working with the DNR because they're the fiscal on this. I shouldn't say fiscal, but they're the state agency that will be dispersing the funds. And what they require is a fiscal agent agreement between us and the Minnesota Discovery Center, because they had written the grant. So what we have in your packet is that fiscal agent agreement, and then also included is the initial agreement for fiscal agency that was back in 2021, I believe. So what we would do is we'd include those two documents, and we would sign. NBC obviously would support that, and then we would send that to the DNR and to be able to get the funds dispersed. And basically what it's saying is that we will use the funds as designated, and the city will pay the bills, and we will go in for reimbursement of those bills.
Thank you, Stephanie. Unless there's any further questions, I would look for a motion to approve the fiscal agent agreement for Minnesota Discovery Center's LCCMR grant.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Travis.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on, community art project and fundraiser for the food shelf. So again, thank you, Robin, for coming down and speaking with us. Yeah, again, another fun thing that a group of people are doing inside the community to better it. So that's what makes Chisholm stand out above everybody else. So thank you very much, Robin, and thank you for everyone that's helping you. And I would definitely support this. So I would look for a motion to approve the, I guess, the project. And work with city staff for what we got going on. So I'm sure Larry will be in touch with somebody to make sure everything is where it needs to be. Yeah, as far as like location, I think, you know, there might be some areas that you know, people might be getting a little too close to the lake, or maybe it's better to be further away. But you know, I think working with Larry, we'll coming up with that plan.
Bridget.
Yeah, Bridget. Is that all right? All right. Council, I'll look for a motion.
Make that motion.
Thank you, April.
Yeah.
Or
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Good job, Robin.
Counselor Baki.
all right. Just a couple things here, council. One is an attorney question also here, but the first one up is the Juneteenth flags. Sarathi and I chatted the other day. They have 6 Juneteenth flags that they did put out last summer. Even though the festival is not going to be in Chisholm this summer, it's in Virginia, but they would still like the flags to be put out. Talked to Larry, he is fine with it as long as we approve it. My question for the attorney would be, now that Juneteenth is a holiday, do we still need to have a council action every June to put them up.
Right. So I think you need council action today, and it just depends what kind of action you want to take. So if you'd like to take action just for this year, you may, or if you want to make it a standing thing in your motion today, then make that a standing thing until further council decision down the line if you decide to change it.
Okay, good. So yeah, I mean, I think we could probably go with,
Forever.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks
So-
very much, Travis.
Yeah.
So, yeah, council, I would look for a motion to approve, putting the Juneteenth flags out, and I would look for that to be a standing order going forward.
Mayor, the reason why I would question in the future forever is they're changing something the city actually normally does. And you want some control over that, I would think. Otherwise, anyone can just go up and take it on one of our flags and put their flags up anytime they want.
Well, so I think that the city staff will be the ones in charge of taking the flags down and putting them up.
We
So
put
you
that- we
don't-
put that back on them, generally speaking, like, it's their responsibility to put theirs up on Tuesday night now for the day on Wednesday, and then take them down Thursday morning, put ours back up. You know, like, we don't have staff, we don't work holidays, right? So we put that back on them generally. She would do it that morning and take them down that night, but they're not here, they're at their celebration out of town.
On our flag poles or on our light
On our
poles?
flag poles, they're taking down our United States flag and putting up their flag for the day, and then taking it back down. So I would be interested in having the council have some control over that. Otherwise, you could just walk up at any time and take our flags down and put your flag up because they do it, or
Right.
because them did it.
I would think that there would be an issue of having somebody else do that. I think,
The city.
yeah, is there anything wrong with putting the flags up a day or two early and taking them down a day or two after? I mean, I just don't think that we should have anybody putting a ladder up onto one of our light poles
I
and
agree.
taking flags
I agree.
down. I don't think that should be a
Well,
acceptable.
light.
and like, the flag should have some sort of control, like, there should be some meaning behind it that's, like, what if it was a hateful flag?
But this is just Juneteenth, right?
Right, this is a Juneteenth flag, so we're getting
Yeah,
permission
but what
for
I'm
it.
saying is, if you allow this one, you allow all of them.
It's a
No,
holiday.
they would have to come
It's
in.
a, it's
It's
a
a federal holiday.
Okay,
federal.
well, that's fine then, yeah, that would be.
It'd be
maybe that's
different.
the- Maybe
It's
that's
different.
the line in the sand, is
Yeah.
it's because it's a public, national
Holiday, right.
Yeah. There we go.
That sounds better.
And the council
Yeah.
always has approval to approve the flag itself, if you want to add that to your motion. And then, I agree, city staff should be doing it because it's liability and you don't want anything to happen with respect to
That's a
removing.
good point, and what I did, I wanted to say for Councilor Botke is that, I did, so then there's flag etiquette, like, so their flag is one size smaller than the American flag, than the US flag, and it's 1 foot shorter, because the US flag always has to stand above, so they are doing it properly, I did wanna say.
Good, all right.
We can certainly do that, Mayor Lance. We can put that flag up when we go home on that Wednesday, or Tuesday, I apologize, and then take that back down on Thursday morning.
Mr. Mayor, I got a question for Larry.
Sure.
Hey Larry, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Does it have to be on the United States flagpole?
No, it doesn't,
Could
that's just what
we-
they originally did, and they were gonna.
Could we put it on a different flagpole
You certainly could,
to keep our?
Where were they last year? Were they at Kiwanis Park?
yeah, because they had a
Flags.
celebration down there.
Yeah.
This year they want them on their block, just on their building block.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, there's certainly, we could leave our flag up even and put theirs below it. We could certainly do that as well, and not take our flag down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would it still be high enough where you wouldn't have to worry about any type of,
I think so, they're pretty
No
high,
reason.
I'd say
Okay.
they're 12 feet high.
Yeah, I'm fine
Perfect.
with that. Just do it.
And if it was shorter and smaller, it would fit underneath
Yeah.
perhaps.
I'll touch base with her. Just do that. Plan to do that.
okay. Look for a motion? Did I have that? No.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Support.
Thank you. Jed? Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right. Good song. All right. So the next two in front of you both deal with the golf scramble. We have our gambling funds that we can now use, and the first one in front of you is the Community Foundation Annual Golf Scramble. We have since long before I sat in this chair donated $1,000 to that. Sponsor donated, whatever
Advertisement.
legal term might be for that. And I would just ask that we continue to do that and support the CCF. They do a lot for us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Travis. All right, council, I would look for that motion to approve the donation of $1,000 from our gambling funds.
I would make that motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
I believe it used to be for advertisement.
Advertisement purposes, yes.
Mr. Mayor, do we have a balance of that account by chance?
Before Eileen left, she told me we had over 17 in
Okay.
it.
Okay.
So figured we're pretty safe until that new.
Yeah, we're safe on this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have the exact amount, but yeah, this is
Okay.
because we've gotten more since then.
I would look for support.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And finally, new one. The as you are all aware, we have the Blue Streak Scramble next Friday, and so being that the money that is raised for that Go Scramble does specifically go to help kids that are in need, helping to pay for their sports fees or equipment. I felt like it was appropriate to ask council if they would be willing to consider a $250 sponsor, advertising, donation, whatever you would call it, for that.
All right.
Could this come out of the?
Yeah, it would come out of the gambling. Yeah.
Mhm. All right, again, another good event that helps the students and the kids. I would look for that motion.
Make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, April.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Abstain.
Can anybody
Susan.
sign up for this still?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure can.
So,
Contact me.
before we part ways, I did have something I wanted to bring up under miscellaneous, and I didn't know if it should go on the agenda, but I figured we'd just talk about it real quickly here before doing anything with it or doing any type of investigative purposes. One thing that I know has happened in many communities, especially very touristy areas like the North Shore, Silver Bay, Two Harbors, when you have a peddler's license for folks that are selling out of the food trucks. It's just one of the things that communities have instituted because you have a small food truck coming into town with limited overhead, no property tax, they don't have any type of regulations as far as the city goes, and they are becoming a little more prevalent, and we're going to see things here a bit more. So the other day we have them set up inside the community, which, you're half a block away from another business that pays, $8,000 a year in property tax. They do bring something into the community. They are the ones who advertise and help sponsor our T-ball leagues and everything like that. So it'd be my opinion that we would look at some sort of a peddler's license for folks that do want to sell food inside our community. And obviously it's not something that would bankrupt a small business, but it just has a little bit of skin in the game for folks that come in to visit. So I wanted to at least bring this up tonight and see if it's something that you guys would, support as far as asking our planning and zoning or who have you, wherever that falls under, city attorney, to come up with some kind of peddler's license for that. We don't have an ordinance currently.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that'd be appropriate. Plus, you're gonna see, more and more. That's the way things are headed. There's tons of food trucks, and I'd love nothing more than for us to have a food truck festival at some point.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
I think it's a good first step.
Good. All right. Well, thank you very much. And that being said, unless anyone else has anything from miscellaneous, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Have a good night, everybody. Go check your vehicles.